and laudable. Let's learn a little bit more about Sheriff Jones.
Law enforcement wasn't my first choice. Physical education is actually my major throughout college, and I felt that I really wanted to be in athletics somewhere along the line. Glenn County's always been my home, and I chose a career path with the Glenn County Sheriff's Office, and I've been here, this is my 39th year.
Back in the 70s, Larry Jones at the time was the resident deputy of Hamilton City, and so pretty much everybody in the community knew who the resident deputy was and knew who Larry Jones was. Larry was the epitome of a community role model. He was the deputy that took care of us. You know, I always looked up to Larry, being in grade school over in Hamilton City and then in high school.
I started out riding with the deputies, and I became a jailer dispatcher at that time, assigned to patrol duties, resident deputy sheriff in Hamilton City for 5 years, street night sergeant for 17 years. I worked narcotics for a while, was a member of the 1st Sheriff's Office Special Weapons and Tactics team, field training officer, just running the gamut.
I have known Larry for 33 years. I met him in Glenn County my first year on the job in law enforcement. I was working for the Willows Police Department, and he was a supervisor at the Sheriff's Office. And I just always remember hearing S1 on the radio. And this guy came across the radio. He was so crisp and clear, and he always had this professional edge to him. And so even before I had actually met Larry face to face, he intimidated the heck out of me. About a year later, I moved over to the Sheriff's Office, and Larry became my supervisor.
Law enforcement has a great appeal for me, and that assisting people in life and taking care of issues and helping people get out of problems that can't help themselves. And law enforcement's been very, very rewarding for me.
When I was in high school, my buddy and I used to have gatherings. And these gatherings would take place on Stony Creek, right outside of Hamilton City. We had a bonfire, and Larry showed up, and everybody ran. And it was funny, it was the middle of the night, everybody ran into the woods and to the creek, and were trying to hide. And I was stuck there, because I knew who Larry was, and Larry knew who I was. And I thought I was gonna, go to jail. I thought I was gonna be in trouble. He treated me like a big brother. He gave me a real good scolding and told me to shape up. And it was like big brother telling little brother, square yourself away.
In a small county, when you're part of the law enforcement community, it's your life. For me, looking up to Larry as a supervisor early in my career, he set an incredible example of professionalism. Many years later, Larry and I became department heads. Larry became the sheriff, and I became the chief of police in Chico. And over those years, we had many, many, many professional encounters. As a leader in the law enforcement community, he's a guy that no matter what, if you call and say, I need help, he's there.
There are people that you encounter in your life that are like signposts on the highway. You go down the highway of life, and that sign points you in a direction. And Larry Jones was one of those signs for me. He was the one that pointed me in a good, positive direction. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here today.
Larry exemplifies professionalism, he exemplifies leadership, and he exemplifies dedication to duty. As you think about those things, a citizen conducting themselves that way in a community, and in this case, that citizen being a representative of this great institution, Butte College, in that regard, he exemplifies exactly the kind of person that we want to recognize as our distinguished alumni, and I'm proud to be a part of acknowledging him tonight.
I've been associated now with the Sheriff's Office for well over 40 years in one capacity or another. It's been quite a journey, as you might imagine. It's been a very humbling experience, as this honor is from Butte College. I'm not sure I quite deserve that, but I greatly appreciate it, and it is something that's very gratifying for me.